Well, I'm here with Steve Smith, who needs no introduction. Steve served on our staff team for 14 years before stepping into a new role this year in a business as mission organization that serves ministries in generosity discipleship. And that's what we're talking about here today as it relates to Limitless. So let's take a moment to look back, then look forward, then look within as we near the end of this calendar year. For people that might not know, what is Limitless?
Yeah, well, Limitless, it's all about generosity discipleship. And so it's a 24-month generosity initiative. It began back in April of 2022 with two primary goals in mind. The first is generosity discipleship. So to see everybody in our church grow in generosity, because generosity is essential to our discipleship. And it matters to Jesus. Over 2,300 times he talks about our relationship with money. And what we've been learning, and this is always true, is that God does a work in us before he does a work through us. And so this goal was that 100% of our church would participate by growing in generosity. Then there was a secondary goal, and that's mission advancement. And that has to do with the initiatives that God has laid on our church's heart to advance the mission of the gospel through this local church.
Now let's take a moment to look ahead. Where are we at now? Where are we going? First, we've been averaging over 25 new givers each month since the beginning of Limitless. And year over year, giving has increased by 5% since last year. So lots to be encouraged by with that. However, we're behind compared to the projections made at the beginning of this initiative, and we shared that a few months ago. So that means we haven't been able to do all the things that we had set out to do because we want to be fiscally responsible as a church, which I'm really thankful for. So let's review what are the four areas of Limitless. What are the four buckets?
Yeah, well, number one, limitless influence. This is about leveraging the influence that God has already entrusted to us. And this really makes up our general budget for Limitless, because Limitless is what's called a one fund.
And second is limitless opportunity, which is about expanding into new opportunities that God provides. Although we had some setbacks in some ways that we didn't anticipate, God has brought some new opportunities our way, including Stateville, where we've seen 200 decisions for Christ this past year and 15 baptisms even last month, along with Highpoint.Church, which began this fall and is being led by Pastor Kiwan. So that means we're a church of 6 locations worshiping in 4 different languages.
I love that. And third, limitless potential, which is about maximizing the potential that God has already given to us. So this was about some building enhancements, which have been put on hold until resources come in, as we continue to prioritize direct ministry investment. And we've said from the beginning, we're going to move at the speed of generosity.
And the fourth area is that of limitless legacy, which is all about investing in the next generation of kids and students, parents, and interns. Our discipleship roadmap, our family hub, along with our legacy and our community through our care centers. Because of Limitless, we now have a physical care center at each location, including Monmouth. We're getting ready to serve 750 meals in Monmouth this Thanksgiving. And we're preparing to give away 3,000 toys to over 1,000 families through a care center Christmas. So let me show you where we're currently at with 6 months left in the initiative. 3 of our buckets are moving at the pace that we expected, but the bucket representing limitless potential hasn't had any major projects started based on our current pace of giving.
Well, let's end by looking within. And as we close out this calendar year together, almost every nonprofit relies on a significant amount of their giving in the month of December, and High Point is no different. So some are on track, some are even ahead of what they've committed to give to Limitless, and we're just so grateful for the faithfulness of so many. If that describes you, maybe consider giving an additional year-end gift so we can finish the year strong. Well, and others are running behind in their commitment, and there's no better time to give than here at year-end. Lastly, some have never given to Limitless before. And remember, it's far less about giving to something, it's far more about giving from a spirit of obedience and faith.
And Camille and I, we're trusting the Lord as it relates to our generosity, and that's what we're asking our staff and our elders to do as well. And it's what we're asking you to do, to trust our limitless God. With man, It's impossible, but with God, all things are possible.